Welcome to Blue Book video number 20, discussing how to cite to law review articles and books. In this video, you will learn how to cite to law reviews in journals and books. We will also learn the short citation forms for each. First, let's look at law reviews in journals. Law reviews in journals are governed by Blue Book Rules B9, R16, and Table 13. The citations should include the author's full name, the article title, either underlined or italicized, the volume number, the name of the periodical abbreviated according to Table 13, the beginning page number, pinpoint page or pages, and the publication year. It's important to always check Table 13 when citing to law reviews in journals. Table 13 alphabetically lists a majority of all law reviews and journals. For example, the South Dakota Law Review is abbreviated S.D.L.Rev. Let's take a look at a citation to a law review article written by Professor Van Patten. First, list the author's name as it appears on the publication, followed by a comma and then a space. Then list the title of the article, either underlined or italicized, followed by a comma and then a space. Next, list the volume of the publication, space, then follow that with the publication's abbreviation according to Table 13. Then list the beginning page of the article, followed by a comma and a space, and then the pin citation to the specific page. Finally, enclose the year in parentheses and end the citation with a period. If there are two authors in a publication, use the AND symbol per Rule 15.1 sub A. Works with more than two authors are cited using the first author's name and et al., unless the inclusion of the other author's names is significant. This is per Rule 15.1 sub B. Next, there are a few other rules to keep in mind. Do not abbreviate words in the title unless they are abbreviated in the original. All words other than prepositions and conjunctions begin with a capital letter. Look at the example. The original punctuation of the article is retained, and the two ofs and the for is not capitalized in the title. Now let's move on to books. Books are governed by Blue Book Rules B8 of the blue pages and R15 of the white pages. There are some discrepancies, however, with regard to B8 and R15, as R15 is generally meant for use in law reviews and journals. B8 underlines book titles, while R15 places them in small caps, which we have been interpreting for FLS purposes as simply using plain text. For the purposes of FLS, we will follow B8 and underline book titles. Book citations should include the following: the full name of the author as it appears on the publication, the title of the publication, either underlined or italicized, a pin cite to the page you want to cite, and the year of the publication. All of this information must be present in a book citation. However, you have to remember to look for other things such as names of editors, editions, or volume numbers. Not all books have this information, but if your book has any of this information, you must include it in the book citation. Rule R15 describes that in specifics. Now let's look at some examples of book citation format. You'll notice that the rules for citing to multiple authors are the same as for law review articles. So in the first example, where there are two authors, both of the author's full names are used and the AND symbol is also used. In the second example, there are more than two authors. So the first author's name is used and then et al. Is used to indicate that there are multiple authors. The third example is one where there is just one author, but there is additional information about the edition and editors. Note, in the Carey example, that there are more than two editors, so the proper citation would be Kent A. Peterson, followed by an et al. For the editors. Next, we'll discuss the accepted short form citation format for articles and books. These secondary sources can be cited to by using id as well as supra. We'll first talk about supra and then show different examples of short forms for each of the authorities. In video 18, we discussed the use of supra as a type of internal cross-reference. Under certain circumstances, it can also be used in short form citation. Note, supra is used unless it is appropriate. As you know, it is appropriate only if it refers to the same source as the immediately preceding citation. It is important to note you may not use supra when referencing to a case, a statute, a constitution, or a restatement. You may, however, use supra when referring to a secondary authority, such as a law review or a book, that has been fully cited previously. Rule 4.2 contains a list of authorities that you may and may not use supra for. Take a look at the supra format in the context of a law review article. If the full citation form for Professor Van Patten's law review article has already been used in your document and you want to refer to it again using a short form citation, you can either use id to refer to the article again if it's in the immediately preceding citation. Otherwise, you can use supra in the following format. First, list the author's last name, followed by a comma, then a space, with supra in either italics or underlined, followed by a comma, then at, space, and the pin site to the page, and then followed by a period. Finally, let's look at how to short cite a book. The full citation is provided above. The use of it is appropriate if you are using a short citation form for a book, but only if the book was the immediately preceding authority. If it is not the immediately preceding authority, use supra. Shorten it to the author's last name, followed by a comma and a space, and then supra, space, and then at, space, and the pin site page, followed by a period. This concludes video number 20.